All right, welcome back to Generation X Nation. Let's get it. Let's go. I will be doing a quick review of Basketball Wives, but my focus is going to be on Doug Christie and Brittany. I don't know why, but those two characters have got into my spirit today. And after watching the show, I have some questions I need answered. Okay. Now, this is Generation X Nation. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody who has recently subscribed to my channel. I keep pushing, I keep grinding. I don't care. I'm going to continue to do this whether you like it or not. And anybody leave a negative comment, that's your right to do so. It's called freedom of speech. Moving on. Everything on my channel is alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Again, alleged, in my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to make this quick. And I know everybody is doing their commentary on the show, so I don't want to ride off of what other people are talking about. But I'm going to say this. I'm not the biggest Evelyn fan, and I know I haven't been easy on Evelyn this past season, but I'm going to say this about Evelyn. Evelyn was dead. She was 100% in the right when she was talking to Brittany. She looked that girl in her face and she said, "What is your issue with me?" Brittany do as Brittany always do. Started screaming, started shouting, never gave a definitive answer, called Evelyn the B word and thought that was okay. And when Evelyn questioned her, see, there you go disrespecting me, calling me the B word, but yet you supposed to be moving in this new faith. This is why I say you're phony. And then she said, "Oh, only God can judge. You old B OnlyFans, whatever, 50 years old on OnlyFans. Do you have more knowledge than God?" So you're telling her not to judge you, but yet you're judging her for being 50 years old on OnlyFans. So the same thing you're screaming at her about doing, you're doing right there to her in that moment. Brittany, you lack so much self-awareness. It's amazing. And I really hope you get the help you need. Because every time you get upset, it's not them, it's your mother you apparently still have an issue with. You need to holler at her. Because when you walked in that room, the first thing you said is, "I'm not about no dumb shit. I feel low energy right now." You came in there on 10. You came into that event on 10 and then start going off. For what reason, Brittany? It didn't make any sense to me. And then when everybody sat around the table and they addressed their issues, and we know, I'm not going to look over the fact that Jackie had deflected everything all this whole particular episode. She wouldn't talk about her daughter. She said she had the flu at one event. Next thing you know, she in a car heading to Sacramento. Didn't look like she was sick to me. But hey, that's Jackie. We know she's going to deflect. Jen came in. Her and Brandy had their little back and forth. I was surprised that Brandy was more mad at Jen than she was at Jackie about the alleged rumors, but even they were able to talk it out. And the way Brandy used to behave previously, the fact that she could calmly discuss that with Jen, accept Jen's apology, and move on, showed growth. Showed accountability on Jen's part. It showed growth on Brandy's part. And they both realized, well, the rumor came from Jackie, so we all know how Jackie is. And they moved on. But when it came to you and Evelyn resolving your issues, Brittany, you just went in like you didn't want to hear nothing Evelyn had to say. So you took Evelyn from trying to be cordial to snapping because you know Evelyn can get there. So when Evelyn went after her and said, "Well, what you known for sucking 100 D's after you made the whole OnlyFans comment?" And she said it wasn't 100. Brittany says it wasn't 100. It was 36. Like that made a difference, Brittany. Your personal life is your personal life. But the fact that you would say it on TV like it's funny when you have a child and people know who you are, and one day your child is going to have to hear this from somebody, maybe teasing them in class, that was just a dumb statement, Brittany. You didn't have to go to with OnlyFans. Evelyn didn't have to go to with that. Then you went on and corrected her. So I felt like you both was wrong, but I felt like at the same time, Evelyn had a right to say and do what she said because you don't listen. So then at the end of it all, the big three, the entitlement crew, the crew that think the world revolves around them, the crew that think there's never wrong, the crew that does not hold itself accountable, the crew that always play victim, but sometimes they actually the villain. We're just celebrating. Oh, we got a new friend group. I love you guys. Y'all are three toxic ladies. Call yourself friends. Chantel, I get why you toxic. Growing up with a mom like Jackie Christie could probably make people toxic. You said that you were going to try to change that type of behavior and you do not want to behave like your mother behaved. But baby, look in the mirror. You are your mother's child. You act just like her. And if you don't slow down, you're gonna end up being her later on. Okay? Brittany, you calling people toxic. Baby, look in the mirror. You just like I don't know your mom, but if your mom is toxic as you say she was, you are very toxic too. Get some help or you're going to be her. And when y'all hit y'all 40s and 50s, y'all going to be looking in the mirror talking about, damn, I am my mother. And I didn't even think that. Take accountability, go get some help and learn how to have conversations without screaming and shouting. That's the first thing you can do to change toxic behavior is to remain calm, hear the other person's side, then respond. And you don't have to always be right. Like when Jen realized she did hurt Brandy by not telling her that, she immediately apologized. Brandy immediately accepted her apology and they moved on. That could have been a whole shouting match right there. That's what's called growth. That's what's called not allowing stuff to take you there when it doesn't have to because it's petty. Not making excuses for Jackie. Jackie should have been there. She said she had the flu, left the event. Next thing you know, she in a car heading to Sacramento looking healthy as a horse. That's another story. So moving on, let's get to Doug real quick. And the reason I brought Doug in and Chantel's husband, I think his name is Duffy or something. I forget his name. He's the basketball player. I'm confused as to one. We'll start with Chantel's husband. I don't know you, no disrespect. But I'm confused as to how you married to a woman and have never really met her mom. And y'all don't allow the child to really see the mom that much. That should be a red flag. When you meet a young lady and she and her mother have bad relationships, as a man and as her husband, you should really try to help her work on getting that done and encourage her to get that done. And maybe you have. That's why I'm saying I don't know you. I hope you have. But to watch your wife react the way and act the way she does on TV, I wonder, do you see her differently? Because she may be at home being the sweetest homebody ever, but then you see her on TV and that's maybe who she really is. Because people can put on a facade sometime and pretend to be one way and they're another. But I hope Chantel's husband get her in some type of therapy if he really loves and cares about her. And it seems like he does. They showed him one time on the show with the baby. Get your wife some therapy. That's the best thing you can do for her right now. She don't need a Chanel bag. She don't need a car. She needs to get some therapy. And maybe at some point, the whole family can get in there together. Now, Doug. I'm going to say this Doug because Doug is AKA the man of the house, AKA the provider, AKA the leader, AKA the man Jackie submits to. He's supposed to lead his family spiritually, emotionally, financially, security, all of that. Doug, how did your family get like this? According to your daughter, your son don't even like your mom, allegedly. So I'm going to say to all of these people who do these marriage counseling podcasts, these relationship podcasts, the man is a woman should submit to a man. The man is the provider. You ought to follow your husband lead. All y'all that do these podcasts that say women are to do what men say to do and the man is supposed to take care of the woman. How did Doug Christie's house end up like this? Because Jackie is his wife. Doug was the provider. Now, mind you, I understand. He is a basketball player. He played many of years. He was on the road, so he wasn't always around, and Jackie was following him. I get that. The kids were somewhat raised by Jackie's mom because she was too busy following Doug. I get that. But at some point, Doug would come home during off season. He didn't know that something was off between his daughter and his wife. And then when Doug retired, he was probably home a lot more. But during that time frame, before he became a coach, He didn't notice anything was wrong with him, his wife, and his daughter. Him and Jackie were married, I think, 26 times. You didn't see anything wrong here? Who was leading the family? Because if you are the husband and this is your daughter, and you know your wife and your daughter are not seeing eye to eye, why didn't you, as the leader and the provider and the person who's responsible for that household, biblically, according to the God's word, you guys always throw it in. The Bible said that a woman's supposed to submit to the man. Well, you in charge. Why didn't you say, I need my wife and my daughter and my son and myself, if needed, going to therapy? I need to figure out how to work this out between them two and my children. I need all of us to be one strong unit. I need my wife to maybe have private therapy because of some things she may have conquered in life or experienced when she was young. I need my daughter and my sons to have private therapy. And then we all need to come together and have therapy because I want a strong family unit. Why didn't you stand up and say that, Doug? And maybe you did because nobody ever told us you didn't. But if you did, apparently it didn't work. There is no way a man who, once again, I'm going to keep saying this, who's the provider, who's the person that this woman submitted to. Oh, and the 6, 7, 8-figure earner. See, you meet all these boxes they check, over 6 feet, light skin, cute, make good money. He's a man of the house. All of these things that these people check on these boxes, on these podcasts, you met that criteria, but you couldn't control your own house. Because if you was in control of your house, as you should be, and I ain't saying they got to do everything you say, not no slavery type crap. I'm saying you watching what's going on in your house and saying, hey, y'all need to get this fixed. And if I need to go out and get some help, I don't care if you brought a pastor in, somebody, but somebody should have came in to help. But instead, you let Miss Christie follow you around the world and leave your children at home because she was scared somebody was going to get you. She was following you everywhere you played while your children were being raised by the grandparent. You should have stopped that years ago. When you allowed that to go on for so long, Doug, you gave the power to that family, to Jackie. You gave the power to them. That's why Chantel says, oh, you gonna call your husband? You gonna call dad now and tell him? That's why she does that. Because if Jackie didn't have the power, she wouldn't even be saying that. She wouldn't even talk to Jackie that way because she know you would step in and say something. So I'm saying, what happened, Doug? Are you the man of the house or not? Chantel's husband, are you the man of the house or not? And this is alleged in my opinion, because y'all could have done all this stuff, and this is just me talking. No disrespect to either one of you guys. But at this point, after the world has seen how your household and your family dynamics is, y'all probably need to get them off of television and into therapy. And maybe film the therapy on TV. I don't know. But the last thing either one of them need to be is on a television show. And Shaunie O'Neal, I'm going to hold you last accountable because at the end of the day, you are a woman of Christ. And I get it. You don't control what goes on up there in California. You're not there, yada, yada, yada. But I'm sure they called you on the phone and said, hey, Shaunie, Chantel and Jackie got into a this and that. Why would you let that air? Why would you stop and said, hey, let me, and again, I don't know how much producing credit she get. I don't know if she got the yes or no, whether stuff airs or not, but you are part of this franchise. And you should have said, hold up a minute. As a woman of Christ, as a woman of God, I can't let this go on like this. We need to fix something. You should have hopped on a plane and got out there as soon as possible. I don't know, hell, bring your pastor husband with you. I don't know. But it should have been something said at that moment where you came in and maybe with your husband and sat down with Jackie and her daughter and maybe tried to get something through to them, at least where it looked like you made a difference or tried to make a difference instead of letting that play because they're gonna fault you too. So accountability, Shaunie O'Neal, Doug Christie, and Chantel's husband. Y'all just a tiny bit responsible, a little bit for allowing this shenanigans to go on for so long and maybe not stepping in. Again, I know it's Jackie and her daughter, but I just feel like y'all still family too. Somebody should have spoke up. It should never got this far. And with that being said, I'm Generation X Nation. Like, subscribe, share, like, subscribe, share. Appreciate everybody again. Thank you. Leave me a comment. I do reply. I appreciate you guys for listening. Again, I don't like doing long videos, but I just felt like some other things need to be addressed. You guys go and have a great rest of your day. This is Gen X Nation. Peace, and I'm out.